The web has had a long history of different ways to create components for our websites and web applications. Websites and web applications are more demanding than ever before. When you use components, you can create reusable code, which allows you to repurpose commonly used elements, among other things. In existence have been components from players like jQuery, Angular, React, and they all try to accomplish the same goal, but in different ways. Wouldn't it be great to have a common browser API standard? This is what web components set out to do. The new HTML5 web component specification is a collection of specifications that, when combined, create a powerful web standard for creating reusable components. So the premise of web components is to create packaged, reusable building blocks for web and app development. Web components are a collection of web standards that makes it really easy to create these reusable pieces, and you just use regular old HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Web components give you a way to create your own custom HTML elements, which can do just about anything you need them to do. So instead of loading up your sites with verbose markup, long scripts, and repetitive code, you can wrap everything into nice, neat little custom HTML elements. Web components are important because they help to alleviate the complexity that the web has become. By using web components, you can simplify the process of building web apps. The underlying complexity is actually hidden within the components. It also promotes the principle of reuse. You can build it once and you can reuse it over and over again. In addition, it provides encapsulation of appearance and behavior, so that helps to keep your HTML, your CSS, and your scripts separate from other components. This methodology has not kept pace with browser capabilities. We're still using pretty much the same HTML, CSS, and JavaScript that we have for the past 20 years. The goal of web components is to help alleviate and to help the coding side of it keep up with what the browsers are capable of. In order to build web components, you just take advantage of the regular old web platform. Web components are built using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. The W3C standards for custom elements and packaging exist within web components. These new standards let you define your own tags, and you can easily package them and reuse them in other projects or by other people. You can also extend and enhance existing tags that the browser already has, and you can use each of the technologies on its own. There are 4 standards which are part of the overall web component specification. They are HTML templates, which define how to declare fragments of markup that go unused at page load but can be instantiated later at runtime. There's HTML imports, which allow HTML markup content to be defined as an external file and then included and pulled into other web pages. There's custom elements, which allow you to create new types of DOM elements, along with custom properties, custom behaviors, and custom attributes. And then there's something called Shadow DOM, which provides a way to encapsulate custom elements and their related styling so they're isolated from the rest of the page. You can use each of these individually, or you can combine them and use them together. In understanding web components, probably the easiest way for you to understand how a web component works is to look at an existing element that we already know about from HTML5. Here I have a page that has a video element in it, and you can see that it plays a video. I'm going to open up my web developer tools so we can take a more detailed look at this particular element. If we go ahead and click on this element and inspect it, you can see that it's simply a video tag that is showing my MP4 video right here. This is just one line of code with some attributes that have been passed on to it that control sizing, whether it's going to automatically playing, and whether the controls are there. But as you can see from looking at the video element, there's a lot of other things that are part of it. If we just look at the playback area, you can see that there's all sorts of features that we never integrated into our page, but they went ahead and displayed as a result of simply adding the video tag. I'm going to go into my developer tools settings, and I'm going to turn on something called the user agent shadow DOM. I'm going to check the checkbox to show the user agent shadow DOM. If we go back and look at our video tag, now you can see that my video tag can be expanded. So this is what the element really looks like behind the scenes. If we look in here, you can see there's something called shadow root, and we can open that up. And then there's a div that has some attributes on it, and I can keep drilling down and looking into the individual components that make up this video tag. So each of these little tiny elements here, the playhead, that's an input button. The feedback that the user gets that tells the current time and how long the video is, that's just a div that has some pseudo attributes and inline styling applied, and so on and so forth. You can see that all of the little parts of the video element are actually HTML tags that we just don't normally see. So by default, the browser is going to hide all of this verbose code that we don't need to see and we don't need to worry about writing. All we want to do is have the video play, and we can do that simply and easily by simply using the video tag. Previously, before web components were available, only browser vendors could create elements in this way. But now, with the advent of web components, you can actually use the same approach yourself with all sorts of other types of content. During this part of the course, we're going to look at the different types of web components, and we're going to talk about how we can use them in our web pages to consolidate and also to be able to create reusable chunks of code. I think that you'll find this to be very useful as you go on and develop web pages.